So as we continue our series with our 4 pillars, and we've been really focused on the connection part of it, we're going to talk about offering behaviors and what that really means and how it creates the connection that we're looking for. And I think it's probably one of our toughest things as trainers as we're training our stock dogs, because we have to talk to them. And just watching everybody work today, even catching myself not communicating verbally with the dogs as well as we should, because I feel like we're so good at nonverbal communication that we forget that in some situations we have to communicate better. But on that note, we've always felt like it's important to have nonverbal communication mostly, so that the dogs understand how we work, how we think, how we live, and that we're not micromanaging our dogs. So, Melissa, tell me, how do you explain to your clients what offering behaviors is, so that they understand it's the nonverbal information?
So I usually ask them, what does your dog do if you go grab their leash? And they usually say, oh, they just go right to the door. Like, do you tell them, go to the door, or we're going for a walk? And they usually say no. And I just kind of explain that's what offering behaviors is. They see us doing something, and they're going to offer something that they think we find valuable, and they get a reward by going out. So that's kind of like offering behaviors in the wild, kind of. But by teaching different, like down, sit, go do this task, or etc. with offering behaviors, I think the biggest shift is the dog's like, oh yeah, you guys kind of trust me to let me figure it out in a way, or like they find more value in their reward. But also seeing the shift in owners of kind of realizing their dogs aren't robots, but they're very intelligent and they're reading us all the time. So let's give them a chance to read us and work as a partnership, not just bossing them around all the time.
Sure. Nice.
Because when we boss them around, they're not going to respect us or pay attention.
Right. Michelle, what about you?
I explain it in a way that instead of us verbally talking to our dogs, we want our dogs to turn around and look at us. Because if we just talk to our dogs and we say something, yeah, they're probably going to hear it, but they, just like us, if we're not looking somebody in the eye, like, we might not understand exactly what they're saying.
Right.
So I like to explain it that this way the dog has to stop and be looking at you to figure out what it is that you want. So they're going to start reading your body language, and dogs definitely, like, they can read your body language more than they can listen to you, honestly, because they don't know English. But they can feel the way that you are looking at them and the way you move and the pressures you put on them in that way. So I like to tell people, I want your dog to stop and think and look at you for direction, and actually stop and look at you for direction, not just hear you. Right. I think it's a little bit longer of a process to teach, like, sit down, stay in this way. Just not by it much, but a little bit. So I think people get frustrated and they just want to talk at their dog.
Right.
But I think it helps to build that connection, that the dog is actually looking at you for information versus just hearing you.
What Shannon, what do you do in the house with offering behaviors with your pack?
So I do a lot of offering behaviors of things that I find useful and practical to my life. So like getting them to go in or out of their kennel, getting them to go in or outside, getting them to go on their dog bed or a specific area of the room that I want them to be on or off of the sofa, certain places of my house when company comes over, those kind of things. And then it builds into a routine where they just do that all the time.
Right.
So the dog can offer you anything. And we're super spoiled in that, like, dogs really understand you quite well before you even start thinking about training.
Right.
And that's really why we have a job, is where the breakdown happens, where you're not understanding each other anymore. That's where we come in and say, well, this is how you communicate better so your dog can understand you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, already we have this canvas of dog brain that already understands so much
Right.
and looks to you so much for information of what to do, that if you learn how to utilize offering behaviors, you can get them to offer you anything.
Right.
And turn it into a habit or
Yeah.
a routine.
Yep. Well, I think one of the biggest things that people get immediately is, tying back to crate training, where we feed in the crates. That as soon as you start getting food ready, they're heading into their crates because they know that that's what they should be doing to get the food. And then the other thing that's super funny with people that I guess not funny, I just find it fascinating with people is, well, if we can't talk to our dogs, can we use hand signals? Hand signals are the same as commands. And we want our dogs to choose to be connected to us, not us forcing the dog to be connected to us through commands, whether it's hand signals or verbal. And so I find it fascinating that people tend to think, oh, then we're using hand signals with the offering behaviors. No, there's no hand signals either. It's I have something to offer you, what do you have to offer me? Type behavior. When I do this, you do that behavior. What do you find the most challenging when teaching offering behaviors to people and the dogs?
People want to talk. People want to talk.
Yeah.
They want to demand their dog to sit.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest thing is like, no, like, stop talking.
Yep.
I think it's when people think their dog is dumb, like if they're not immediately doing something,
Right.
and they're like, oh no, I need to give them a hint. It's
Yeah.
like, just stop moving, stop giving cues,
Yeah.
let your dog think.
Yep.
And that's probably the most frustrating to me, that everyone immediately thinks their dog's, oh, they're not getting at my dog's.
I need to help them.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Like, nope.
Yeah. I haven't had one dog that hasn't figured it out.
No.
Some take longer than others because they're so dependent on their person. But I haven't had one that doesn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Even the bulldogs can figure it out. People think
You have to
they
be
don't
patient
get it. Yeah,
and wait.
patience
Like, yeah,
is-
that's the thing that's hard, is the waiting.
Yeah.
Like, they're waiting for the behavior, and
Yeah.
but they don't wait quite long enough
Yep.
for the dog to, like, try something.
Yeah.
And some dogs will try a lot of stuff right out of the
Right.
gate, and those are kind of dogs that you can train, like, to do really awesome tricks and stuff.
Right.
Because they'll just try anything.
Yeah.
They're like, I could try anything and just see.
Yeah.
It's like throwing darts at the dartboard, and
Right.
whatever sticks gets the treat, you know?
Yep.
And if you don't have a dog like that, that's where you need more patience
Yeah.
to wait
Yep.
for them to figure out that they need to, like, try something for you.
What do you feel like when you've given the homework of the offering behaviors, and what changes in that week when you go back the following week with people? What happens?
I have so many people saying, like, my dog is so much more connected with me.
Mm-hmm.
They'll follow me around, they're looking at me, and they're tired at the end of the day. And then already the first week, a lot of bad behaviors, like chewing on the couch or barking at the door or something, those are lessened a lot.
Yeah.
By just being exhausted after a 30-minute
Right.
session.
Yep. Michelle?
I totally agree. Usually I think most of the time, unless there's something major else going on, offering behaviors is lesson one. And even then, a lot of behavioral issues, that's still where we start.
Yeah.
If we can. It depends on the dog.
Yep.
So I think people are really, really, really gung-ho that first week too. So it really seems to be that is the connection piece for, like, a big part of it is, oh my gosh, my dog can do this. Even if they're struggling with it and stuff like that, oh my gosh, my dog is thinking about it.
Yeah.
And is trying at least. So and it's, you would not believe, you said 30 minutes. I tell people to do it for 5 to 10 minutes tops because I think people get frustrated with it.
Yeah.
More than anything else we do, because you are just sitting there waiting
Yeah.
for your dog
when you're working a dog's mind like that versus going out and running 5 miles with them, they're more tired having to work their brain than they are physically tired. And so, I mean, they can rest for like a half hour and be ready to go again, but mental stuff, boy, they're down for their 4-hour nap pretty easy after that. Some of the things that I find fascinating is when I always leave with, okay, challenge, here's what I've taught you, here's the sit, here's the down, here's the go to your place, here's this, wait at the door while the door's open, you don't go through it. And then I always give somebody, I always give them a challenge of something that's realistic in the household. When you do this, what do you want your dog to do? And I find it fascinating the things that people come up with, and what they find useful, and that helps me know kind of what the important thing is for them. Sometimes it's they want them to go to a place when they answer the door. Sometimes it's when I'm cooking or we're eating dinner, I want them to do this. So, but sometimes people have a hard time figuring out, what else can you teach your dog to do with the offering behaviors, because it happens so quickly. So what are some of the things that, Melissa, some of those off things that that people have come up with or that you have taught that we wouldn't normally think about?
I'm trying to think. Well, I have one right now. When the garbage disposal's on, the dog used to bark at the garbage disposal. So now anytime the garbage disposal's on, he has to go jump on his barrel.
Okay.
And that's where he gets a treat. Anytime somebody walks past the door, they have to go ring a bell. Because he used to just bark at the door. So now he goes and rings a bell all the way in the other end of the house. And it's this really old bulldog. So by the time he gets back up, he's exhausted.
Yeah.
And just lays back down. Those are the two most recent ones that clients have asked me to do.
Yeah.
With my dogs, I'll often just go up to them and start saying good. 'Cause that's the word we use to encourage that we want you to do something. And they just go find the funniest things to offer me. Like, I want to see what they find valuable at that moment.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was about a month ago now, I did it, and Cooper went and laid upside down on the couch.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, cool. Like, that's what I find valuable now.
Right. Right.
But that's how we teach, like, Cooper how to speak is by offering behaviors.
behaviors is really something that the dogs are born knowing how to do all of this stuff. And I know it sounds so crazy to people that we're not really teaching a dog to sit. They're born knowing how to sit, and we're not teaching them how to down or even roll over, because they already know those behaviors. Every behavior that they can offer. I mean, even from Cooper going up on the couch and laying on her back, like she was born with that. And so offering behaviors is just capturing behaviors that dogs already know, or showing them what behaviors get the reward, and then they tie it. Once we start into our communication pillar, we'll talk about how to introduce words to it all. But really, I think it's the challenge that I would give everybody out there listening is really just find everything that your dog already knows and show them that they can get a treat for it, and then get creative on what else can you cue your dog in. I had one dog that just totally got into company, a golden retriever, way too over the top, and people would encourage it because everybody tends to do that with golden retrievers. And so we taught the dog that when she went and sat in one particular chair, that the dog would come over and just sit there by that chair. And so the dog learned that instead of the owner going, okay, can you stop talking to my dog? Hey, and always nagging at the dog, that she would just have to just go sit in that chair, and the dog would come join her over there, and then just be still. And then eventually the dog would fall asleep, and the newness of the company was done with. And so she wasn't having to constantly nag her dog or tell people